Hi and welcome back to another tutorial. What we're going to do now is go ahead and texture the shoe. In order to texture the shoe, I've downloaded a couple of images. That, and that I believe are the images that I chose. I'm gonna say the shoes has like more of a fabric look, so that's gonna be the overall texture of the shoe, I think. This I will use to put some additional design to the shoe, and then this is I'm gonna use a shoelace base for the laces and the holes. I'll try to get rid of everything else. Okay. This is the top of the shoe. This is the sides, and I believe this is the front. That is the back, I think. Either way, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is again create a new layer. I'm going to call this shoe base, and the base of the shoe is going to be this fabric over here. Now I doubt this fabric is seamless. Let's have a look. So image adjustments, image size, 800 by 618. That makes that 400. That makes this 309. So 400 and 309. So let's go to filter, other offset, 400, 309, and we can see that it is not a seamless texture because we have that. This one is very tricky to fix, I think, considering that it is a let's have a bit of a more of a because it has all these lines that you pretty much have to connect, really. Let's have a go on that again. Let's have a okay. Let's also see how the other tools will behave in this instance. I think it's not bad, so I might just use the healing brush here. Good enough. Okay, file, no, edit, define pattern, fabric, shoe, I think, or something like that. Okay, and going back to here, the shoe base that we had, we want to double click on that, go to pattern overlay, drop down and click on does that say shoe? I think that's shoe. Yes. Okay. So now what we want to do here is zoom in. Again, go ahead and on the UV layer, select an empty layer, Ctrl Shift I, go to shoe base layer, get the brush and start painting on top of this. Considering this is the base, we would want this to be on all the UV layouts for the shoe. Just making sure that we don't go over anything else. You might think to yourselves, why brown? The answer to that is, I don't know, because that was the color of the texture. There are ways you could change the color of this if you want to. So it's not a big issue. Also, that's a big issue because I just went over into it again. Just Okay, you gotta be very careful. I keep doing it. Let me just zoom in and get my brush and just reduce the size so it's more difficult to make a mistake, considering I'm so good at it. That is good. That's decent enough for me. As I was saying, if you need to change the color of that, you could do. Considering this is the overlay for the shoe that we've done, what we could do in this case is duplicate this. So right click and say duplicate, press OK. So we've duplicated that. We don't need the effect, and it looks black, but it's not technically black. If actually I turn effects on, double click on it, turn pattern off, and do color overlay of, let's say, something blue, for example. Create a new layer, Control and select both, and then Control E, as you can see here, to collapse them down together. Now if I was to change the blending mode of this to, let's say, something like color, that has now changed. It doesn't look blue anymore, it looks different. You could probably come to color overlay. No, you can't, so that doesn't work. Okay, but you could try different colors and then see how that goes. For this case, I'm just going to click and drag it into the bin, and I'm actually going to stick with brown. So that's the base. That's good. Let's go ahead and do this. Image size 1080x2. Okay, that's 512. That's basically 540, just 540, doesn't matter. 540. So filter or the offset. You may need to reinstall something. Check. Oops. No way. You did not just crash on me. Did you? You did. Great. I hope I didn't lose too much of my file. No, actually not bad. Only this bit lost. It's okay. I could live with that. So I could just get a bigger brush size. Go ahead and try to actually get 100% hardness. Oh, sorry, I forgot to go to UV and then select that, Shift I, B for brush, and then on the base, just paint on top of this really. Just make sure you don't go over anything else. Good. So let's save that in case if you decides to crash again. Oh, that's a recovered for. Okay, so save over that, press OK. That's done. Good stuff. Waiting for that to get to 100%. Good. Let's go open up my other image. What was the image size again? Image size was, okay, we said 540 by 512. Filter other offset 540 by 512, I think. Okay, as you can see, this is definitely not tiled at all. So let's go ahead and do that. Get the clone stamp tool, rather big size and a little bit of hardness, and try to kind of randomize that a little bit. That'll do. Actually, I might also go and get my burn tool and just burn all of this a little bit so it looks a little bit darker. Anyways, okay, that's good. Image, no, edit, pattern. I'm gonna call this shoe 2. Okay, I'm gonna go here, and new layer, and I want to say double click again. So we're just repeating the same thing over and over again, really. Pattern overlay, find the shoe. Oh, I've lost all of my patterns, I think. It's okay, that hasn't changed, thank God. Good. I could go ahead now. Actually, because I want to just paint on top of this, I could go ahead and select that, hold Control and click on this thumbnail here, and then over here I could just get my brush tool and just brush on top of it. Excuse me. And I only want like a bit of the. Actually, let's not do that here. Let's just do that here. No need for the pattern. What I'm going to do in this case is go to the pen tool, and the pen tool can be kind of really annoying at first, but all you have to do is click and drag and then hold shift to create a straight line, and then go up here, click, drag, hold shift to create a straight Bezier handle. Come down, click, drag, shift. Up here, click, drag, shift. Come down, click, drag, shift. Come up here, click, drag, shift. And then we want to close this off. And then you want to right click on it, and then say make selection. That's great. Copy that. Come here and then say paste, and it gives you this. I could Control T, Shift and drag to turn this. Put that over here. Let's zoom. Press Enter, and let's just zoom into this a little bit. Okay, good stuff. I could now get that layer and just decrease it in size. Put that here. Maybe increase the size a little bit in terms of over here. Okay. Now I want to create a layer mask. Oops. Create a layer mask on top of that, and hold Control and click on this. Now I have a selection. Control Shift I that, and then just get the black brush, because black means invisible, and just go over that and remove the extra pixels from there. I'm gonna now double click on this to go to the layer property, layer cells again, and I'm gonna go to bevel, and I'm gonna just change the light direction. It kind of gives you that little thickness, or that little highlight, if you like. Press OK. Now this has been applied on both sides of the shoe. What I may want to do now is try to make a duplicate of this. Press OK, and bring the duplicate. I actually probably don't need the rest of this. I can delete the rest of this layer, just like that. Okay. Let's see, where's the front. The front is over here. Actually, I probably should have deleted that. Okay. Let's rotate that, bring it here, and just bring it there. Okay. In this case, what we want to do. Now this is where it gets very tricky, because we would want this to be one continuous line. What we need to do is to go to 3ds Max and find where the front and the sides meet up. So in my UV editor, I know that's the side. These are the sides. Don't select by element. These are the sides. Now, as you can see in Photoshop, this line that I've created here kind of finishes under this vert. Let's see which one is that vert. That vert are these ones, these two. Which one are those on the front one? The two top one. Oh, okay, this is because we have flipped this. Okay, so I need to have that in mind. So what I need to do is to make sure that this layer that I have here, I need to flip it the other way around, put it up here. I'll actually just put that there. And what I'll do is I'll create another line here, another path with the pencil. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to what I was saying actually. Where's the pencil? The pencil's right there. So these are the 2 points. So we want to make sure we kind of cover those. And click first and then okay. Selection. Now this we want to keep. Control Shift I. Everything else we can paint black. And then of course I could click on this. So Control Shift I that. Okay, let's see how bad this looks. File, save, and then of course, once that's done, file, save as, JPEG, texture, okay, and let's see how things look here. Okay, this is how it looks here. Doesn't look too bad, I guess. It doesn't match up perfectly, especially on this side, but overall it's not too bad. I forgot to do the back of the shoe, so I might need to go ahead and do the back as well. So of course before doing that we need to know where things are. So if I open my UV editor again, this line is ending. If I go to vert mode, that line is ending just underneath these vertices over here, and they're ending on the third one on the other side. So the line will need to go somewhere around here. Let's try doing that in Photoshop. If I see my UVs, that's where my UVs are, that's great. Might need to bring, actually because this is the pattern overlay, I could just go and paint with my brush in this area to get some of that pattern back up. So this is just underneath. So I'm going to get the pen tool, and just underneath the third one, that's 1, 2, 3, I'm going to click and drag over there. close that off. Right click, make selection. No further required, so that can say 0. Now that I have this, I'll say Ctrl-Shift-I and go ahead and on my mask layer press B and start removing from that. And then I could just Control click this to know what goes where. Ctrl-Shift-I to get rid of that, and then just delete those. Okay, let's save that as a JPEG again, just to test it and see how it looks. Again, it's a little bit off, but you could fix that in the UV editor itself. It doesn't matter. Okay, so at least we have some design going around the shoe. It's not just a very basic, ugly looking thing. It is a big, ugly looking thing, but it's not too bad. Okay, so now the top bit over here. What we want to be doing now is to close this and open up the next one, which is that. And we're going to need the shoelaces here. We don't need anything else, we just need the shoelace itself. So what I'm going to do is magic when we work here not very well. Well, everything I'm looking for is pretty much bright, so I could say select color range, click on a white pixel, and then kind of increase that and see what I've got. Not the most convenient. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and get a magnetic lasso tool and just remove these triangular shapes. I'll be honest, it did take me a while to find the images for this shoelace. I couldn't see many around, and definitely not many that I actually liked. I'm sure there's a much easier way of doing this, but my brain doesn't function too much right now. I've done about maybe 2 hours of tutorials today. Okay, these areas I could just get rid of easily. Where is this starting? Where did I start this from? Okay, I could. I should have just done this with the magnetic lasso tool from the beginning. Not the best idea, actually. My thing's gonna get in the way. have no doubt I'm doing this wrong. There must be an easier way for this. This is just unbelievable. It's taking ages. You know, I'm gonna double click on this if it lets me. Oh, it's not even letting me do anything with it. Okay, let's just go to File, Save As, save this here. And then open the file again. Sorry, not that. Let's do. This is much quicker. Maybe I should just increase the tolerance against the 50. See what I can get. I'm gonna just take this as it, see how it looks. Just put that there for now. Also, I may want to go ahead and actually let me just name that Shoelace. Put a layer underneath that where I go paint black. Where these holes are. Okay, I'm gonna do a. I want to bring this layer up here. This is where I'm putting my effects. What I may want to do here now. No, I'm actually just creating a new one. So create a new layer. Call it image. No, edit, fill, 50% gray. Set this to soft light, and I think I'm gonna come here. And I'm just gonna burn where these blue sections meet with the rest of it. I can't seem to. Okay, I'll have to put that actually over there. That's fine. Put that over there. Okay, that's fine. It's just to give it a little depth, a little bit of detail, if you like. What I did here was I put the layer between this layer and this layer. That's all I did, so that that layer doesn't affect what's on top of it. Put some shadows for these laces. Okay, let's click save and go to file, save as, JPEG, texture, and then go to 3ds Max. Yeah, it looks. Okay, I think again this video continued for a bit too long. I'm gonna stop this here. The texture is almost pretty much finished anyway. But we're gonna come back in and try to get rid of all these lines that we have in between. Should be kind of quick. And I actually might need to move that up a little, I think. But we'll do all of this when I come back. Cool, see you soon.